Let me ask you something real quick. Pull up your bank account right now. Now, look at it and tell me, what is the single biggest payment that comes out of that account every single month outside of your rent or your mortgage, right? For most of you, I already know the answer. It's your car payment. And I'm here today to tell you that that one line item, that one recurring charge is quietly doing more damage to your financial life than almost anything else you're doing. And the craziest part is most people don't even question it. They just accept it, right? Like it's oxygen. Like you just have to have it to survive. I'm here to tell you that you don't. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. What's up, everyone? My name is Fawani, and I'm a former budget analyst who worked as an active duty personnel for the military and the US government. I now teach personal finance to everyday people who want to escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle, save, get out of debt, and invest. So before we dive right into it, I want you to be honest with yourself. How much money would you have saved by now if you never had a monthly car payment? Let me know in the comment section. Here's what bothers me more than anything about car payments. It's not the payment itself. It's actually the fact that we've been conditioned, deeply conditioned to believe that a car payment is just a part of being an adult in America. You turn 18, you get a job, you get a car payment, and that's just the order of things, right? But the fact of the matter is that even though that is the order of things, it's not normal. It's a very common thing, but there's a difference between normal and common. Those are two different words. Normal is healthy. Common is just what everybody does. So, smoking used to be common, but that didn't make it healthy, right? A car payment is now a common thing, but it doesn't make it smart. And I need you to stop confusing the two. Now, let me give you some numbers real quick because I don't want you to take my word for it. I want the data to do the talking, right? So, the average new car in America right now costs somewhere between $48,000 to $50,000. The average monthly payment on that car is about $748 a month. For a used car, you're still looking at about $532 a month. And people are still stretching these loans for 6, 7, and even 8 years. 8 years, my friend. Think about what your life looks like in 8 years. Your kids are older, your career has changed, and the world looks completely different. And you're still writing a check for that same car. And on top of that, right now, more than 100 million Americans are carrying an active car loan, right? The total auto loan debt in America has crossed $1.6 trillion. That's trillion with a T. That is not a crisis happening to other people. That is a crisis happening in living rooms and driveways all across America, and maybe even including yours. Now, I need to pull the curtains back a little bit because if you understand this, it is going to change the way you walk into a dealership forever. Car dealerships are not primarily in the business of selling cars. They're in the business of selling financing. The car is just the product that they use to get you into the loan. That is why the very first question a salesperson asks you almost every single time is not what kind of car are you looking for. It's what kinds of monthly payments are you comfortable with? Because the moment they get you thinking about monthly payments, you stop thinking about the total price itself. A $45,000 truck sounds painful, right? But $848 a month sounds manageable. If you pay $848 a month for 6 years at an 8.5% APR, you would have paid $47,700 on the principal balance and $13,356 in interest, bringing your total payment to $64,056 alone. That is a lot of money. This tells us that the monthly payment trick is just a psychological game that the dealerships play with your mind. They know this, right? And they use it against you every single time. Monthly payments make you comfortable. So remember that. Here is the part that really gets me, and I want you to sit with this for a second here, right? A car loses value the moment you drive it off the lot, and that is not eventually, that is immediately, like on day one. The second you leave that dealership, that $45,000 car might already be worth $41,000, right? And every single month after that, the value keeps dropping, but your payment does not drop or go down every month. Your payment stays exactly the same. So you've got this thing sitting in your driveway that's worth less and less every week, and you're still writing the same check for it month after month. That is not just bad debt. That is wealth destruction on a monthly schedule, my friend. And you actually set it up yourself and signed your name on the dotted line. Now, add in insurance, which has gone in through the roof lately. Add in registration, taxes, maintenance, tires, and gas, and you will know that the payment is just the cover charge. It gets you in the door, but the real cost of that car is 2, maybe even 3 times what that monthly payment is actually suggesting. I know what some of you are thinking right now. Okay, so what about leasing the car? Listen, if you lease because you get a newer car, lower payments, and less maintenance headaches, then let me be straight with you, right? Leasing is not a smarter version of financing. Leasing is just a permanent car payment with extra restrictions. When you lease a car, you have mileage limits. You also pay penalties if you go over them. And you can't modify anything with the car. And at the end of 3 years, you hand the keys back and you have absolutely nothing. Not even the wheels that come with the car. And then what happens after that? You sign up for another lease, right? And another one, and another one, and another one. At least if you finance the car, the loan ends after 5 or 6 years. A lease is designed to never end. It's a subscription to a car that you will never own. And that is not a vehicle. That is a lifestyle you're renting that you really can't afford to buy. All right, so let me give you something practical real quick. I'm not just here to tell you what you shouldn't do. I want to show you a realistic way to do this the smart way, because there actually is a path that works if you're actually willing to be a little patient. So let's say for the next 18 months, you save $500 a month. That's it. Nothing crazy like $1,000, just consistent $500 a month. And at the end of that, you have $9,000 cash. Maybe you pick up extra hours, or maybe you cut back on eating out, or maybe you sell a few things you don't use. However you do it, you make it happen and you save the money. Now, take that $9,000 and you buy a reliable used car in cash. You have no loans, no car payments, and no interest eating up your money. I'm sitting in a car that I pay cash for. And yes, it's not brand new and it's not fancy, and it has a bunch of mileage on it, but I own it completely from day one. So I encourage you to do the same. And after you do that, you can then keep going. You can save another $500 a month for the next 12 months after that. Now you have $6,000 saved. Your $9,000 car might be worth around $7,000 at this point, right? So you go ahead and sell it and combine that with your savings, and now you're shopping with about $13,000 cash. That is a much better car, and you still never touch the loan itself. Look, I already know what some of you are thinking. First, my situation might be different. That wouldn't work for me. You don't understand my circumstances. And sure, for some people that might be true, right? But not every situation is the same. I want you to understand this and be real with yourself for a second. Are those actually barriers, or are they just the excuses your brain comes up with for you to keep doing what feels normal? Because here's what I've seen over and over again. Most people aren't broke because they don't make enough money. They're broke because they're running on habits they never stopped to question. And one of the biggest ones is the idea that having a car payment is just part of life. car payments got normalized. So did financing phones and furniture and everything else. When everyone around you is doing it, it stops feeling like debt and starts feeling like a routine. Here's the bottom line, right? A car is not an investment. It is transportation from point A to B. Its job is to make sure that you get to where you're going safely and reliably. That's it. It doesn't have to impress anyone. It doesn't even have to be new. It actually doesn't have to have a payment attached to it. The most financially dangerous thing about a car payment is not the money. It's what it does to your options. Every month that payment comes out, that's money that could have been an emergency fund. That could have been a retirement contribution. That could have been a down payment on a property. Instead, it is going to a bank that has been charging you interest from day one. So make a decision today, not next year, not when this particular loan is over. Today. Decide that this is the last car payment that you will ever have, and then build a plan to make that become your reality. Your future self is going to thank you. And if you found this video just a tad bit helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear this. Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, okay? And I want you to always remember that the best time to invest in yourself was yesterday. The second best time is now. You got this.